Hello, good afternoon, everybody. How are we doing? Hope everybody is fine. Well, I hope most of the people feeling better than I did after last night. One of those ones where I think I almost slept to sleep. That when you get up and you're still proper deep in the head and you still could really sleep some more, but that definitely wouldn't do no favours. But absolutely pissing down with rain around here. So I'm staying in my pajamas and dressing gown. Just been reading a bit about the football this morning, usual stuff, and just a couple of things I wanted to bring up on here. So, hello to everybody watching. Nice to see people on here. Wayne, good after you, my friend. Hope we're doing well, same as everyone else. RJR Jones, big up. Yep, big up you too, mate. Right, like I say, this ain't going to be a long one. It's just a couple of things just dwelling on my head. I mean, we've all spoke about the main issues at the moment. We all knew that these issues were going to come sooner or later. Anyone with half a brain on them about Tottenham knew something was going to go wrong. Call it negative, I just call it realistic, yeah? One of the things I definitely want to bring up that I'm reading more and more and more about and listening to more and more and more, especially after this last game, was how Højbjerg has got to go. Come love nor money, yeah? His last game, shocking is an understatement. I mean, you could say that about the rest of the team, but he was absolutely terrible. And this is where I will get to the point of what I'm saying on here. Changes, chances, can we, shall we, should we? We'll have to wait and see. But again, Pierre Højbjerg, if we get rid of this man, we get about 30 million for him, I reckon. Now, Juventus are meant to be the main people looking at him. Juventus, a very, very big worldwide club. They've done it all and everything and some. We all know this, yeah? But one thing I can definitely tell everyone on here about the Italian league is it is a very, very poor league, money-wise. People are in serious trouble in Serie A, even the big teams like Juventus. They haven't just got the money to throw about. So even if we do get a 30 million deal off them, it's definitely going to be in shrapnel. I know that's how they do it with most deals and everything, but are they even going to be willing to pay 30 million? Is he worth 30 million? Yeah, in my eyes, the man is worth 30 million all day long. Again, I will still vouch that I think he is good enough to be a club player. But after what he did the other day, he's definitely going to have not made no friends from it. The question is, if we're going to sell Højbjerg in January, who can we actually get to take his place? What would be the point on selling him to go and get somebody that's of the same standard or not even at the same standard, or getting some little 10 million pound player just to back it up for the meantime? To me, that makes no sense. So are we actually going to sell him? Is it actually worth selling him? I don't think it's worth getting rid of the man in January, because personally, I don't think we're going to find nobody who is as good as him for 30 million in January. So I don't think it's worth getting rid of the man in January. I really don't. I think we should hang on to him as a club player till the end of the season. Then, yeah, let the man go. But that's just my opinion on that one. Like Mr. Jones has said here, he's linked to Juve, yep, like I said, and we're linked with Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips, now, from what I remember him at Leeds, he was a very, very good player. I mean, he gets into the England team. He's basically the same sort of player as Højbjerg. And yeah, I'd definitely say that would be a step upwards. His injuries, he has had a fair few lately, definitely, without fail. And over the past year and a bit, he's had literally no game time whatsoever. Even when my man's been fit, he still can't get in that Man City team, come love nor money. I suppose that part is forgivable. I mean, because that Man City team is just deadly at all times. So it's going to be hard for anybody to get in there. But anyway, Yeah, morning, Dan. Hope everything's cool. Spurs 72. Yes, it is. Mia, my friend, how are we doing? Do you know what I'm going to do, Mia? If you're still on here watching this, because I do have a question I wouldn't actually mind asking you. So I'm going to put the link down on here for you to come on. And do you know what? If anybody else wants to come on and make a point, there's the link. Come on, make a point. I'm more than willing to listen to everyone. So, again, I'd keep him, take Phillips on loan. Do you know what? I didn't actually think of it like that. Honestly, that is one way I didn't actually think of it. I think Mr. RJR Jones, I'll say it right in a minute without biting my tongue off. Do you know what? That's a really good idea. And that, to me, is Daniel Levy all over in it. So that he don't have to actually make the buy. We can see a bit of the player and make the decision at the end. You know what, mate? Fair play. I'll go with that one. I'd say that would be the smartest idea we do. Yep, I'll go with you on that one. Hold on to him till the end of the season. Take Phillips on loan. Phillips would most probably prove himself the better player to have. Then let Højbjerg go. Bring Phillips in full time. Should be a businessman, man. Seriously. Right, Jacob. We are dead without Maddison in CM. Son can't do it. Can't do what Kane did. Look, brother, friend, whatever you want me to say. No shit, Sherlock. Tell me something I don't know. And that's no insult to you, mate. We all know this one. Without Maddison in that on that pitch, there is just no creativity whatsoever. And this is where I get to my point on changes, chances. Can we? Will we? Should we? Well, again, like I said, Mia, Jacob, either of you want to come on here and make a point, feel free. You're more than welcome. But do we take chances? Well, when you've got Unai Emery doing a review on his next couple of games, and he's saying he's happy with how things are going at the moment, he's definitely looking at making it better. And his next game is Tottenham. And they say to him, so what are you looking ahead of? And he turns around and says, I am looking forward to the future. I am looking forward to playing Tottenham. I don't like that. I don't like another manager saying they're looking forward to playing the club, because no one should be looking forward to playing any club unless they think they're going to absolutely spank them. And so obviously he's looking at us and just thinking, sweet, got them where we want them. And at the moment, I think anyone's got us where we want us. With the injuries, the suspensions, everything the way we've got it, I can't blame the man for thinking like that. Can't say it's disrespectful. You can't say, well, he's just saying how he sees it. He's thinking, he's looking at Spurs right now and he's thinking, do you know what? I want them boys and I want them now, because he's going to do damage. Yeah. And if we do not do something to change the way it's going to work on that pitch, we're just going to end up having the same thing that happened with Wolves, if not worse. And the main thing we got to change on there, like I say, the defence, there's not a lot we can do a lot with. But there is one or two little things I think, and again, I get called crazy for a lot of my thoughts and that, yeah, but I try and think ahead. I try and think of more than just the basic ideas. Sometimes you've got to take a chance. And this one against Villa coming up, I mean, personally, I would have thought Wolves would have been the perfect chance to give Phillips a go instead of Dyer. And I think Ange would have got a bit of credit for doing that. But then maybe he just doesn't think they're good enough yet. Maybe he doesn't think this. Maybe he doesn't think that. We just don't know. We spoke about all this last night, so I won't go too deep into it. But when it comes to Villa, I think my man's going to have to take a chance. If I remember right, we're going to have a Doji back. And then in the middle, we'll probably still go with Davis, Dyer. And we'll probably stick with Porro on the right. But that's not how I would do it. I think everybody all knows. I would stick Emerson on the right. I stick Porro on the top right wing and move Kulusevski to the middle. Play it a 4-2-3-1 as such. And then leave, Basuma should be out He'll be out as well, if I remember right. And then leave Højbjerg and Sarr in the middle. Yes, not going to be the safest play, but one way or another, it's all good being able to defend from a goal. But if we can't score a goal, we got no chance of bloody winning. No chance at all. And like Spurs 72 has said here, he knows we are ripe for the picking. That is an understatement. It's true, we are. So we have got to be able to score goals. If we even want to have a bad defence and have an attitude of you score 3, we score 4, we got to be able to score 4. And in that last game, we was lucky we even scored 1. So backstage, my friend comes on here, and now Mia.
You've got to change the layout.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. I pressed the wrong button there. My mistake. I'm still learning how to do this one on my own, so cut me some slack. How are we doing this morning? Afternoon, should I say?
Bad. Yeah, I'm not too bad this afternoon. Yeah, it's afternoon now. God, time's gone really quickly this morning.
God, it took a little bit of time for me to get my head together, and that after medication and everything last night, I felt proper heavy this morning. I don't think that monster done me much good last night. What went on it and then tried going to bed with it. But yeah, so everything cool this afternoon. About what I've said to you, I'll go back to the start then quickly. What are you thinking? What are you thinking of Højbjerg selling in January? Because what the fella mentioned up on here, RJR Jones. Do you know what? I think he has put it. Not the linked one, my mistake. I think he's put it perfect on here. Keep Højbjerg, get Phillips on loan, and then obviously swap it over at the end of the season, sell Højbjerg, and keep Phillips. What do you think on that?
I don't think that's the worst of options. But the problem we've got is that I think Højbjerg wants to leave. That's the problem. If he wants to leave, I think what can we do? We can't keep a player here who doesn't want to be here. That's the only thing I would say. And it appears that he sort of is wavering on the side of wanting to leave because he's not getting that game time. And though he is getting a bit more game time now, so you don't know, he might change his mind because of that. So yeah, I think if he wants to go, that's the one thing that I would probably go against that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, even if he wants to go, he's still on contract. We can tell him, shut up, sit down, and you'll stay until the end of the season.
Yeah, all right, that really can cause a bit of
trouble.
Yeah.
You know what? For the rest of the season, I don't think that would do much harm. Yeah, whereas if it was in summer or whatever, I think a player can kick up a much bigger stink about it. Whereas if it's in January and he gets told, right, we need you here and now, whether it's backup or whatever, but we will let you go at the end of the season, I don't think he'll have much of a say in the matter, and I think that would work. But if we swapped one for the other, fine. But I think the fella's made the best example there. Yeah, keep him and take Phillips on loan if it's possible to do, which would be right up Levy's street as well, getting the players on loan instead of buying until the end of the season, and then roll it on from there and see how we go from there.
Well, I've just been given some transfer news that obviously you can take with a pinch of salt because obviously I'm only somebody who is giving you information I've been given. Apparently, Tottenham are willing to send Højbjerg out on loan in January as long as there is a clause to be bought, like if there's a buyout clause as well.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, so you have him, you're going to spend 20 million for him at the end of the season, whatever.
Yeah,
so if you loan him, you're going to buy him.
And they want to get that transfer done quickly if that is the case. If they are trying to get, if he is going to go on loan, they're going to try and get that done quick. That's what I've just read.
Because basically, when a player goes out on loan, if they say it's you have to buy him at the end of the season for 30 mil, it is basically 30 mil in your back pocket, the way it all gets set up. So they'll be able to get the money themselves from the bank, whatever way Tottenham have to do it. They'll be able to get the money because the money's sitting there for the end of the season. So yeah, if that way works, as long as we go and get someone who is better than him, then I've got no problem with it. I'm just more bothered about that if we just went and got someone as a little scapegoat, basically, to take the place for the meantime, because I just don't think that'd be worth it. But yeah, I could see that going either way on there. And other point that I mentioned just before you came on here, Unai Emery is actually looking forward to playing Tottenham. What does that say to you?
I mean, I suppose maybe the background of it that he used to be manager for Arsenal. It could mean a number of things. I think people are just reading into words. They're just words, and I think that people get right into deep on what can that mean. Is there a meaning between that? And it's like probably he's just thinking it's going to be a good game. Like, yeah, I wouldn't
Okay.
take anything from it because their away form isn't that good. So I just don't think I don't think he meant anything by it. Is what I would say.
Okay. Well, we've got another guest who wants to come on and say something. Mimwells FC spoke to you before, mate. So
Yeah,
here we go.
damn.
Oh, here he
Question
is
Damn,
is,
in the
my G.
woods.
innit? Question is, do I
Never
even
in
hear
the
what this
woods.
man wants to say, or
I'm the
do I just kick
minerals
him off
general,
now?
Mia. Learn. You know what I mean?
You
Don't burn
know.
the bridges, Mia. You know what I mean? So,
So come on then. After the two things you've just heard us talk about, what's your opinion? What's your opinion on Højbjerg? What's your opinion on what Emery said?
mm, what did Unai Emery say after the Fulham game?
Emery said he's looking forward to playing Tottenham.
Mm, mm. No Bissouma, no Madders, etc. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No
Yeah.
Romero. No
No
VDV.
Meraza. You know what I mean? They're
We'll have
running him.
Udoji.
Doji, that's the only positive, yeah? And this, that, and the other. Bro, he's right,
Basically,
bro.
yeah. Because
You
Basuma will be
guys,
out as well.
you guys are too open, man. You know what I mean? They'll enjoy the counter attack, bro. Diaby against Doji, it's gonna be a long day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna show him that. It's gonna show Doggy that daddy has come. You know what I mean?
No, no, no. I
That's
don't know
why.
disrespect on Destiny now, right? I'm not having it. Destiny is a brilliant player and he's strong and he's quick. So he's going to have no daddy.
Destiny.
There's going to be no daddy issues here. Only daddy issues is the opposition player, man. Don't even disrespect Destiny like that.
Look, I made a statement at the start of this season. Again, people told me I was crazy. A lot of people only follow Premiership, yeah? A lot of people just
Yeah,
sort of
a
keep an
lot of
ear
Premier
out
League
on the other
haters.
leagues and that, yeah? I follow Serie A, yeah? I follow it. And when I knew that we'd got hold of him, I'd heard of the player before anyway. And we got another guest on here, Lily White. I will let you on now as well. Hello, mate. I will come
Hey,
to
Robbie
you
Blood,
in a minute, Robbie. I will come to
you're in
you
the
in a minute.
woods, bro. You're
You
still in
make
the
my,
woods,
hang on a
bro. You
moment,
were
yeah?
running your
You make
gums.
my
You said that
words.
Spurs would land the
Hey,
minerals.
listen, Minerals, back
Hang on
off,
a
Robbie,
second.
man. Back off. I will come for
Calm
you.
down,
Don't
Minerals,
even.
man.
No, don't worry.
Yeah,
I
leave.
just mute
It's
him while he's
between me
sitting
and
there.
it's between me and
Now
Robbie,
look,
Mia. You don't have to
right,
get in
then
the
let it
thing,
stay
bro.
personal between you two, yeah? Acting like a bitch on here before he even gets a chance to be bitchy back. So give me a moment and I'll let you both have your bit, yeah? Right. Udoji, by the end of this season, he is going to be, if not the best left back in the Premiership, he'll be the most wanted left back in the Premiership. Because one thing the Premiership hasn't really got is decent left backs. I mean, there's obviously Robertson at Liverpool, and there's a couple of others out there. But already, Udoji is the most viewed one on there. People are watching him. People are making it. He is good, and mate, this player is only going to get better. He's young. I think he can pretty much deal with 90% of what comes onto him, as long as the silly prat keeps his head cool. Because that last one, he just lost his head a bit, basically, yeah. But yeah, so I'll come to you then, Lily White, as well. Quick one, Højbjerg. Do we sell him in January?
In January, I don't think so. I think next summer we probably should, because my issue with Højbjerg is not the effort. There's a lot of players in this team that over the years, me, I've been annoyed at for not giving them. Højbjerg is not one of those players. He does go on that pitch, in my opinion. He gives it everything he's got. But we saw on Saturday, for me, the issue with Højbjerg is the ability. But I think in January to sell him, I mean, you're looking at that midfield as well. The fact that Sar's going to be going off to the AFCON, Basuma's going to be going off to the AFCON. And if we sell Højbjerg, we're then going to be missing 3 midfielders basically in that midfield. We're going to need to at least bring in 2, in my opinion. Then, so I just think in January probably not. I think he's a decent squad player. I don't think he's a brilliant one. I think he's a decent.
Yep, I agree with that one.
But I think next summer, I think in Andrew's rebuild, he's going to want more quality in his backup players. I think that's the thing we don't have now. What let us down on Saturday, the quality in squad depth. And I think I think we should sell him next summer if we want to keep moving on, keep bringing in more quality players. But for now, I think with the situation we're in with injuries as well, we don't know when in January exactly Maddison will be back. I think to sell him as a midfielder, and then knowing Daniel Levy and Enoch struggling to get deals done in January, I wouldn't be sure about selling him in January. But I think we should come after other players before Højbjerg, because the guy does give it his all. It's just so does Bob down Sunday.
Do you know what? That argument bugs me, Robbie. Sorry to call you out because you're a nice boy. But do you know what bugs me? Is that you can't say there's other players, because at the end of the day, if Højbjerg wants to leave, it's not about there's other players to sell before him. There's no order in when you sell a footballer. There's no order. We don't go, he's at the top of the list, he's second, he's third. That's not how it works.
No, Mia, hang on a sec. I disagree with that one totally. Straight away there, I disagree with you. I'll pick you on a point there. Yeah, there is an order on what you want to sell the players, because there's players where there's more priority, you need to get rid of them than others.
But if they don't want to leave,
if you want to put a list there, yeah, Dyer is at the top of that list, but right at this moment in time, we haven't got another flipping centre back there. So I do think there is order on what you want to sell your players at.
There isn't. Is there also availability? There's like the availability to sell them. If Højbjerg wants to leave and there's availability for him to go and he wants to leave, then you can't prioritise other players if this player wants to specifically leave. Like, you can't do that.
I get where you're coming from, Mia.
You can't.
I get where you're coming from, but
there's different factors. It's you know.
I just think with the midfield in January, especially with Maddison being injured, hopefully he'll be back mid-January or something like that. 2 players going off to AFCON. I just don't think we can really afford to sell him and then need to bring in the replacements. I get where you're coming from, but for me, I'm agreeing with Dan. I think you need to look at sort of it as a list of players who are a priority to get out. We've been letting the club down season after season, and then there's players like Højbjerg for me. I think I get what you mean. If he wants to go, we should sell him. But he's not one of those players who's gonna, bitch and moan when he doesn't get the game time. He will sort of get on with it and try and fight for his place back in the team. And for me to sell him in January, I think that weakens our squad, especially when we've already got injuries. So I think we need to look at shipping out players like Dyer and Davies and people like that before. And I get what you mean by if they don't want to go. But then if we're keeping players just because they don't want to go, I think that's, again, a player power issue. We don't want to end up in the situation with Manchester United and what they've got going on with Maguire, and they've got him there when they don't want him because the owners aren't listening to the manager wanting to get him out.
Yeah, but it's a contract issue and available. What I'm trying to say to you, right? If I've got something, a car, right, and it's a beat up banger, and I'm trying to sell it, but nobody wants to buy it, and I can't sell it.
You take it down the skip. You take it down the skip.
But with players, Dan, it ain't as simplistic as that because of contracts. You can't break contracts.
I get what you're saying. But then if they can't break contracts because he wants to go, we can still tell him, shut up, you're still staying till the end of the season.
Do you really want a player here that doesn't want to be here? If we can get, say for instance, right, we get rid of
We had Harry Kane here for 4 years longer than he wanted to be.
And it showed. It showed that he didn't. You could tell sometimes that he didn't want to be there. Right? But
he still scored 30 goals a season.
But that's not, you can't really just hold a player hostage. Like, you can't just say to them that you can't leave. If you think about it, right, we are going to hopefully have some players coming back. So therefore, we'll be able to maybe put Kulu in the middle if we are missing a midfielder. There is options, is what I'm going to say to you. And I think we probably will be looking at getting either somebody who's a multifaceted player anyway in January, as well as a centre-back. I think they're the 2 positions that we'll probably look at the most. And if there's a player that's multifaceted that can play, then obviously that gives us a little bit more flexibility with how to sort of move it.
I get where you're coming from this, but seeing as we've got what should we call an outsider on here, Minwalls, what's your opinion on this one, mate? And just a quick one before you do. I see a Mr. Ben has said afternoon, everyone. You're mate. How you doing? One more time again, because I know you have a very good opinion with things. I've just put the link out there live.
Oh, no, we don't want to get Eeyore on.
No. My man knows what he's talking about. Don't even try that, Mia.
He knows. I'm joking.
So, Ben, I'd love you to come on and give us your opinion on this one. You're more than welcome. Same as anyone else watching. You want to come in and say your piece? I don't care if we got 8 people coming on it. I would try to keep control of it, but I can't promise. Minerals, back to you, mate. From an outsider, what do Spurs do with Højbjerg?
You have to keep him, man. Even though he's limited, right? Even though he's isn't the greatest of footballers, you still have to keep him. You know what I mean? He keeps things. He works hard, and he protects the back four as he can. Even though Sa or maybe Bissouma do it better, but those two lads are gonna be at the AFCON, so you have to keep him and maybe sell him at the end of the season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm definitely have to. I'm going to have to agree with you on that one, because I get what Mia says as well, with a point of keeping a player behind his will and whatever, against his will. We did it with Kane for many a long time, and he still ended up just doing what he had to do. Personally, the type of person Højbjerg is, since it would be in a January, I think he would. No, he wouldn't be happy, and he might kick up a bit of a stink in that. But when it comes to it and you put him on the pitch, he'll still give 110%. That is one thing you cannot take away from this man, yeah? Whether it's a good or bad isn't the point I'm making. He will still come out like a Ben Davis and give 110%. I do think we should keep him till the end of the season. And definitely going for the Phillips on loan one, I think would be the perfect idea. So I'm going to have to go with Robbie and Minerals on this one, Mia, because I think we need to keep the man, because I think he's good enough to be a club player, and we're not really in a position where we can mess about.
So we can be good. Do you know what I mean? But you can't fault his attitude and this, that, and the other. Don't.
Listen, Joe, what I will say is that people all calling out Lucas Moura, he gave 100%. Lamela gave 100%. Are they good enough for the club? Absolutely not.
No, but we're not in a place at the moment to be picky.
Yeah,
but we can, because as I said, go on.
I think we need the options, Mia. I think I get where you're coming from, and in a couple of years, if we can find a player to replace Højbjerg and he wants to go, fair enough. But I think right now, we're in phase 1 of a rebuild. And as I say, we've got 2 of our most important midfielders going off to the AFCON in January.
That might only be for 1 or 2 games. That's not going to...
They're going to go for Senegal and Mali are one of the better teams, Mia.
Mali, yeah, but Senegal isn't, is it? Senegal probably aren't going to, not horribly, but they're not one of the better teams. So we could have him back a lot sooner.
They won it last time, Mia.
Oh, was it who? One of them. I know Malia. Then it's the one. One of them ain't as good, isn't it? Like I know that one of the teams. Ain't
I know.
Good, so.
But Mia, at the end of the day, we are in no position whatsoever to be picky at the minute. We need every bit of backup we can get at the moment, because it has just fallen to shit in a matter of what, 1 game basically.
But the fact that we've got a lot of our midfield isn't our biggest issue when it comes to how many actual players we have. I know people don't like him, but we've also got Skip, we've got Lo Celso.
No. Don't even say Skip. Don't even bring Skip into it.
But hold on.
But
what I'm trying to say to you is that when you look at actual amounts, the numbers aren't low in the midfield, and you can put Kulu there. So for me, that is the big issue.
No, yeah. And the other point is for me, for Kulu, I'm looking at playing more of a 4-2-3-1 formation. Yeah, even if we've got the shabby defense in the central, it's like I said, it's all good trying to defend a game for a 0-0 game, but if you're going to play a game to try and win a bloody game, you need to score a bloody goal. And one thing we got the other day was a goal by a good drilling by Porro. That is why I keep saying put him on the right when we need a situation, like when we need it to get in there. But we have got no playmaker, technically.
Yeah, and Højbjerg's not going to help that situation.
No, but what Højbjerg still help very good at covering the back with Bissouma or Sa, yeah? He's going to be better than having bloody Skip on there. Now, this is where I'm going to divert the conversation, but it's still going to stay in the conversation in its weird way, yeah? Because for me, I'm now going to the point of chance. Change. Do we do it? Do we go for it? Now, for me, definitely for what this game proved, all right, stick with the back as you got it, mate. We're going to have Udogie back. Fine. Then my two centre mids are going to have to be, because if I remember right, Basuma's going to be out, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. So then for me there, I'm going to have to stick Hotspur and Sarr. I don't have any options. If I didn't have Hotspur, I'd be having to, I'd have to stick. I'd have to stick Skip there, and we'd be in big trouble. And we have another guest. Ben, how are we doing, my friend? I will come to you in one moment. I'll let you answer this question.
Is Eeyore in the house?
It's me, Eeyore. I'm back. I'm back with Tigger again. But I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right.
Good. Glad to hear it, mate. You're looking good and well.
Yeah.
So, the question I'm asking here, yeah? I mean, my centre, like I said, Basuma's going to be out. Skip, for me, is an Eric Dyer. He comes onto that pitch on a last resort. Again, I'd rather give an under 21s a go. Same as I would have rather tried Phillips. Who knows? But I'm now talking about the player I would rather play in front as the playmaker. Yeah?
Yes.
Now, for me, I think everybody knows my opinion on this. I would stick Kulusevski into the middle. As again, Juventus did it a couple of times, not many, but a couple. When he lost his place to Chiesa on the right wing, a couple of times they had no one to play there. They stuck him there.
He played the number 10 and Ronaldo was the number 9.
That's right. And he also had to change it when Chiesa was there as well. That's when they first done it. Yeah. But Chiesa had a bad injury and went out for a while. And he done a pretty solid job. The man has got creativity. Yes, he's a bit blunt, a bit sluggish at times. But I do feel that where he's just so left-footed and he's so predictable on the right-hand side, we all know he's going to step it to his left 9 times out of 10 and he will try and put a shot across whatever in. If he's sitting behind the number 9 and we sort of give him a bit of a Maddison free open roll, do you know what, mate? Go on the pitch, do what you got to bloody do. So he can drift over to the left, drift over to the right, do what he wants to do. He's got a very good direct pass on him. He's also got a bloody good shot on him. He can also play with back to the goal if needs be as a bit of a target man, number 10. Muscle it up, hold it, let the others come round them and do that. There's a lot this man could do in attacking midfield.
Joe,
central, yeah?
I would only play Dan, if you can have, because Twig Boy's going to have to play on the wing, and we don't want Twig Boy.
No, not in my opinion.
You should play Kulusevski as the number 10. You put Johnson on the right in his natural position, and you put Jamie Donnelly on the left wing. That's what you do. You could do that one as well. Me personally, I'll go for Porro up there. I've made no secret of this. Brian Hill is the biggest fraud at this football club. He is absolutely awful. He is an awful. I know people say, "Oh, he's tired. He's a tidy Spanish footballer." He's not suited
the minerals.
People even compare him to Luka Modric.
And even Messi, by the way.
Do you know what? No, Ben. I'm gonna make a loud comment here. Yeah. I personally think he put more effort into that game when he came on than Johnson did the whole bloody game. Johnson scored the goal. Johnson scored the goal. Johnson scored the goal.
Yeah, that's Brian Hill, right? Brian Hill ain't got the minerals for the Premier League. And to play in this Premier League, you have to be physical.
If he bulks up, he could be a very decent footballer. But the problem is, he makes me look obese. And that is a problem. I've been underweight my entire life. And that's a gust of wind and he falls over. He hasn't got
the minerals. You have to have the minerals. I mean,
I feel sorry for the kid. I feel sorry for him. But if he wants to be that frame, he's going to have to learn to ride tackles. He's going to have to learn to do what the Modric's did, the David Silvas did, the Bernardo Silvas did. Mm-hmm. But even them being smaller frame,
but then look at
muscly. They were
at Johnson.
Machines.
Does anybody on here actually think Johnson had a good game apart from the goal?
No, I don't think he had a bad one.
You don't think he had a bad one? He hardly came back when he was needed to. Hang on a second. Hear my point out first, yeah? Hear my point out first. How many times was he sitting there on that left? He had the ball and he could have blatantly took his man on and got past him.
Yeah,
and he
I
just
agree.
didn't. And you talk about minerals, he didn't seem to have the bottle to bloody do it. And you were like almost screaming at him, "Go for it, run it, try it," and he didn't.
It's one of the
at
reasons
least with
why
Gil,
Donnelly on that left. I think
Gil
he's
looked
not
like Gil actually tried it when he came on the pitch and tried it a few times.
But you know what? It's all well and good of trying it, but there's no point, Dad. He's going to fall off, get like pushed off the ball. Like you just blow on him a bit too hard, and he falls off the ball.
But this is what we're talking about, chances here. If you don't try it, you don't bloody get it. And for me, Johnson didn't even try his luck.
I think that's one game though. Johnson's shown a lot more in the amount of games that he's had compared to what Hill has. I'll just say that much in my personal.
Even with him not taking on his man, it gives you an outlet. As soon as Brian Hill got the ball, 4 players were around him because they know you're not getting past me. I just push you. It's all over.
I don't think Johnson was that.
Johnson, he's got physicality. He can draw someone out because of his pace, and that allows someone to drift inside, which happened a lot because Johnson would drift. Maybe it's actually the tactics of the manager because Johnson was drifting in a lot, and it was actually Papi Sarr that was coming down that left-hand side a lot. So maybe maybe it's a tactical problem. Maybe that was the reason he wasn't taking on the man.
It could well be, but when I've got my winger on the left,
where was because we didn't have a proper fullback. Udogie would go out left with the ball, and Johnson would actually drift inside and take on that space on the inner centre back. So maybe it's a tactical problem.
Okay, someone disappeared there, but just a point here quickly on what got said. Spurs 72, whole team was poor, not just Johnson. Yeah, okay, I know that, we know that, but at this moment in time, we're picking on Johnson, and for me, I thought he had a bloody awful game because he just took no chances whatsoever. And if we're going to score a goal to win a game, you expect one of your wingers to at least take it on, to at least try it. And for me, he didn't. I thought he had a terrible game. Apart from that goal, and all right, there was a chance where he could have took a nice shot and he totally
pulled out.
He totally done a Richarlison with it. He didn't take no chances. So here's where I bring another player in, yeah? That people are very sceptical of and everything else. I'm not a big fan myself. So if we was to say stick with Johnson on the left, Kulusevski on the right, Porro at the back, like a lot of people like to keep it safe and that, do we now bring in Lo Celso? Okay, he's been crap at Spurs. 3 managers ain't particularly liked him. He's done good when he's away, but he still gets into that bloody Argentina team, a World Cup winning team, by the way. He does play as a bit of a playmaker on there. Is this where Ange has got to take his chance? Make a change. All right, if he ain't going to do it at the back, we got to do something to create something, to make something. Because Son is not good enough to do what Kane does. He's not a Kane player. Son is a poacher. He's a poacher in my eyes. He's like an old school Jermaine Defoe. Yeah. Getting the ball in front of him, and he's one of the best finishers on the planet in my eyes with both his feet and that. Yeah. But he is not one who will make it for himself. Very, very rarely. Apart from running from the other end of the pitch to the other with the ball with that goal. But he ain't even got the pace for that anymore. So do we make this change now and stick Lo Celso in Maddison's place? Robbie, I'll come to you first, mate.
Personally, I don't think so. I really don't like Giovanni Lo Celso. I think since we signed the guy, in all the chances he's had at Spurs, he's disappointed me. At times, he's looked like he hasn't cared. And he's not that playmaker. I mean, the drop-off compared to Maddison is absolutely massive.
Oh, yeah, but come on, mate. Any of them's going to be a big drop-off. Come on. Anyone's going to be a big drop-off.
You think we bought him for what? We bought him for 30 million. I understand it's going to be a big drop-off, but he's got to at least put in a decent enough performance. And for me, in the games that I've seen him playing, even in that Carabao Cup game against Fulham, he was absolutely horrendous. And seasons beforehand, and people talk about him doing well in Spain and in Argentina, but for me, it's like we're talking about Hill. Hill does well in Spain. He struggles in the Premier League. It's not physicality with Lo Celso. I just think it's maybe the pace of the Premier League that he really struggles with. Different systems, different leagues. And for me, I've seen this guy so many times in the Premier League for Spurs, even under Jose and under different managers in this season, once under Ange. And any player who really wanted to give it a go would have came into that game in Fulham and tried to put in a performance going, I want to be in that first team. He just didn't look like his head was there at all. I really don't think so. I think, personally, I'd stick Kulusevski as the attacking mid. And then probably maybe even Johnson and Brian Hill as the wingers right now, because for me they're the only real options we've got. But I just think Lo Celso, he's let us down so many times. And yes, he does well for Argentina, but one, it's a different system, and two, he's surrounded by players like Messi, Alvarez, these quality players. Whereas in the Spurs team right now with injuries, he wouldn't be surrounded by that quality.
I think Lo Celso is a very good ball carrier. I think that's what I think we're
afternoon. Should I say
we're not a ball carrying team really. Apart from maybe Bissouma, I don't see really a player in that team that's a good ball carrier. So maybe Lo Celso.
Kulusevski.
Ball carrier, but he's more of he's good at holding on to the ball and looking after it. I'm talking Lo Celso when you move forward with it and you're breaking. Like that's what one of the Man City at home during COVID. Lo Celso got that goal when he brought the ball forward and he put it in the back of the net. That's what Lo Celso is good at. When play opens up and he's got the ball, I think he's good with the ball at his feet. And I don't think maybe it works in this system. I'd like to see it given a go, but I would personally like to see Kulusevski in that number 10 role because ball carrying ability, looking after it, bringing players into play, strength. I think with him in the middle, it gets rid of his bad habit of cutting in on his left foot. Because then he's got the entire pitch to look at. He's got an entire...
This is my whole point. And it worked at Juventus and he has done it for Sweden as well. Right, just before we go on to the next bit, just want to say a quick thank you here to Ian Barron. I've liked, subscribed, everyone watching. Have a great day. Luck with your channel. Thanks a lot, mate. Much appreciated. If anyone could give us a like and subscribe, it is appreciated. It's only a click of a button. And Ben, go back to what you were saying about Lo Celso and Kulusevski, because I agree with you on what both you say. Lo Celso has got some imagination on him. He has got some creativity. But he has just been a letdown to us that many times. But then so has Eric Dyer. So has Ben Davies. So has everyone else. We're having to give them a go. Are we at that point where we might have to give him a go? Kulusevski is my first choice for that middle. Yeah. But then it's what we mess about with the side. So where do we go? Kulusevski, or do we go or do we take the chance with Lo Celso? Because I don't really see any other two options we've got there. Because even though they say Angie's working out whether Sarr is a 6, 8 or 10. I think the other day when he tried a little bit of a 10, he proved he bloody ain't. He's an 8 or a 6. So where do you go it from here, Ben? And then I'll come to you, Mia, and back to you.
You could do the option. You could play both of them. Play Kulusevski as the number 10, put Lo Celso on the left because he is left-footed. Maybe that's a good option. So he would...
He's done it for Argentina a couple of times, hasn't he? Up on the left-hand side. Like Maddison has drifted out for England a few. Yes.
That allows him to be the Whitman man, and it allows him to play with two number 10s closer to Son. So hopefully that gives him some more chances. That's what I would personally. That would be an interesting option to have both of them. Has Kulusevski as the more static number 10, and Lo Celso is the more roaming sort of left-sided player. I think that could work. I think that could work.
So you know what? You've said that there, Ben. Do you know what, mate? I honestly have not thought of that idea. That would be a gamble and a half. But this is what I'm talking about. Chances, changes. Do we do it now? Because we ain't really got much option to do something, to try and make something. And you know what, for me, that is a chance I'd be willing to take. Because people are saying, without doubt, Brian Gill can't hack it on the wing, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, Lo Celso, he's no winger, but then again, nor's Maddison. But Maddison plays up on the left for England. He done it for Leicester enough. He drifts out on the left for us as well. And you're saying basically you have Lo Celso. All right, don't necessarily be a winger, mate, but be a sort of playmaker out on the side sort of thing. And Udogie can come up and back you while you come in and Kulusevski pushes forward a bit more, yeah? You know what? Honestly, mate, I don't think that is a bad idea. I think that is one. And if you're listening, mate.
That time I had a good one.
Listen. Mate, I think that's a very good one. So, Mia, come on, over to you on this one and on what Ben said as well.
I can see where Ben's coming from. I can kind of understand it. I personally play Benny. I'll play Benny, Sarr, and Kulu, I think, because I think that Bentancur is very good on the ball. He gets the ball, can turn on the ball, he's confident on the ball, and we need somebody to connect the back to the front because we don't have that at the moment. I think that's what we've been slightly missing in the last game because Hotspur is not that good and Sarr is a bit hit and miss. So I think we can have the hold-up play with Kulu. I think he's definitely a bit more creative. And then Benny also helps. Like, he does definitely help. If he's fit enough to come on, I think he should start. And then we could change it to have Lo Celso. We could switch it up and then put Lo Celso. So personally, I would probably start with Benny and Benny and Kulu. But I'll be worried about the wing because I just don't think Hill is it. And I think Aston Villa are very physical, and I just don't think he can handle them. He'll be literally, he'll just be like knocked over. You just touch him and he'll be knocked over. So I just don't think Hill is it, man.
So you think for the better idea of it as such, get Kulusevski in the middle, Johnson on the right, and possibly do what Ben said and stick Lo Celso up on the left?
Yeah, like I said, but I would probably put Benny. I probably would start with Bentancur and then switch it to Lo Celso.
Bentancur for me is a 50-50. Now, I know we're at a stage now where we need him.
Yeah.
But is he ready just yet to do a whole game of football? I suppose we're going to find out with where he's gone. I don't think he is, but we're going to find out where he goes to Uruguay.
But that's why I said we can swap him. That's why I said if he comes in, play some of the game, and then you can swap him for Lo Celso and swap him out. But he has to get, the only way to get match fit is to play matches. So he has to start playing a little bit more. And like you say, he's going to go away with Uruguay.
You know he's going to be playing 90 minutes for Uruguay.
That's what I'm saying. If he plays for 90 minutes for Uruguay, Dan, then he has to play 90 minutes for us.
If it was as easy as that, then maybe, yeah. But where he's been out for so long, he might be fit, but fit and match fit are just two total different kettles of fish.
Yeah, no, of course. But if he can play it for Uruguay, then I'm sorry, if he comes back from Uruguay and if he played 2 90-minute games or 45 minutes and 90 minutes, then he has to come in, because if he's gone out and played those.
I would be more safe on playing him for 60 minutes and then swapping him around with someone, because I still think I don't think he's ready for a match. But yeah, I'm definitely going what you both say. So, Rob, what's your opinion on this one?
I agree with Mia there. I think Bentancur in the midfield, if he's fit enough, fingers crossed, can really offer something. I think, towards the end of his spell for us last season before he got injured, he was in such good form, and he was almost playing as a box-to-box midfielder. He was creating chances. I think if we play Bentancur, Sarr, and Kulusevski as our midfield three, I think we offer so much more going forward. And then the front three, I sort of got two opinions, because I'm not Brian Hill's biggest fan. So one of the obvious ones is to go Son down the middle, and then Hill on the left, and then obviously Johnson on the right, either way. Then you've got the option that you guys just mentioned, bringing Lo Celso on the left. I wouldn't be opposed to having Valise down the middle, Heung-min Son on the left, and then Brennan Johnson on the right. Because through the academy games I've seen from Valise, he's not the best finisher, but he does affect the game. He does hold it up well, and he does play some brilliant dribbles. And I think maybe with Son on the wing against a team like Villa who play a high line, Son can run in behind as a winger, and we can break away through that. But in terms of the midfield, I agree with Mio. I think if you put Hotspur in there and even Lo Celso, I don't think we really offer enough. I think Kulusevski and Bentancur, you've got that box-to-box midfielder, and you've got that midfielder who can create chances. He's got a good strike on him in Kulusevski. And, as a midfielder as well, we can hold it up so well. We see him do it so well on the right. I think it'd be brilliant for us in a game, like the one against Aston Villa would be. But front three, I wouldn't be opposed to playing Valise in this game with the options we've got.
Yeah, that's one we haven't spoke about either. But the way I'm looking at playing it is a 4-2-3-1, because obviously what I'm going to want the two midfield to do, I'm definitely going to need one to at least be a very defensive-minded midfielder. And I suppose I'd want my other one as like a Basuma player sort of thing, or a Sarr as a box-to-box, so that he can come back but will push forward. But I'm going to have one of them two having to sit back to cover the crap he's got behind him. So for me, like I say, the main question on here is who do we do as the number 10? And I think between us, we've actually come up with some actually quite good ideas. Minwalls, come on then, mate. As soon as you've come back on, where do Spurs go for the number 10? Do they take a chance with messing about with the system and sticking Kulusevski in there? Do they stick Lo Celso in the middle? Do they go and stick Lo Celso on the left with Kulusevski in the middle? As an outsider, what do you think Spurs do for a playmaking?
Kulu in the middle, because
Well, we haven't done him in the middle yet.
Spark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got that spark, and Giolos also is too injury prone, and he ghosts in games. You know what I mean? So you have to use Kulu's creativity against Villa. You know what I mean? So in the short term.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to agree with you there. For me, Kulusevski has got to go in the middle. I honestly do not see another option there. I've had some people say to me before we could try Bentancur there. Yeah, possibly. But if I was going to play him, I'd rather be playing him and Sarr in the middle, basically, and have Sarr playing as more dropping back, and having Bentancur playing as more of my box-to-box. But on the other side of it as well, Bentancur is also just a blatantly very good defensive midfielder. That's what he done at Italy for a long time. And he also sort of played it as a deep-lying playmaker defensive midfielder.
That's what he's best at, the metronome system.
Yeah. So if we got him to stay back a little, like to cut him back a little bit, and then have, say, Sarr play as more of our box-to-box, Bentancur win the ball, he'll get the ball to Sarr quick enough to get it forward, to then get it to Kulusevski to get it out, to try something. There you go. With what we've said there, we're already building something of what there's a chance of making something. So what one do we stick with then? Go on, Ben. What one do we stick with out of everything we've said?
I mean, I personally wouldn't start Bentancur yet, because I think we're going to need to have all hands to the pump, especially with Villa's attacking options with Zaniolo. I think Zaniolo hasn't been suspended yet, has he? Zaniolo can play against us. Either way,
as far as I know,
their attacking options mean we're going to have to do some defensive work. So
yes,
I would start Hotspur as that number 6 with Sarr, and I would put Kulusevski in that midfield because he works his socks off, and he can. When we do eventually get the ball, we're going to need to get that ball up the pitch. It's that unit has to be able to carry a football, but we do need to think defensively. Villa are going to have a few more of the bits of the ball than us, I think. It's been to be able to carry the ball. So I would start Hotspur in that number 6. As much as I don't necessarily want Hotspur, I think he's the best suited for this game.
Okay. And Mia, one more thing to say on that, because I know you and Ben have both said you've got to go in a couple of minutes. Yeah. So have your final say then.
I think that playing Hotspur, we've seen that having him just makes things a bit meh. So personally, I just wouldn't want to start Hotspur. I think he's just meh. If we have to bring him off the bench, then cool. But I'd much rather have Bentancur there. I think Bentancur has so much more to offer in that midfield. I've watched him live once. And when we played Everton last year, I went up to the ground to watch him. Oh my God, to see it in real life is a thing of beauty. The way he takes that ball, turns on it. Oh,
he's an excellent player.
Sexy as fuck.
This all comes down to fitness at the end of the day, is what we're looking at here. It's not.
But if he can come on and play for play for 45 minutes, or if he can play 40 minutes, you can start him and play for 45 or 60. Like, do you know what I mean? So you can.
That's what I said earlier.
Yeah, no, of course.
And at least try and get something in the first half that we could try and hold on to and possibly make something of. Whereas I know we got something in the first half against Wolves, but did we try to make anything from it? Did we help?
No. Of course,
not a chance in hell. So I take it you and Ben got to go, yeah? Or
yeah, I've got to do some work. I've got to hoover my floor. It's an absolute mess.
Got to do some more housework myself. So if anyone want to offer to come and do my housework for me.
So just a quick one before you two go. Mia, between the lines, we all know you do that. Give us a quick talk of yourself, and everyone link up to her. Go on, Mia.
If you like what I've got to say, please come over to Spurs Between the Lines. It's there. I overdo this right there. It's there.
Yeah, you've not learned from Johnny. You've not learned from Johnny. Johnny has that spot.
Do you know what it is? It's because of where the camera is, Ben. I don't really like looking. So it's there. There we go. So please go over and give me a subscribe if you haven't already. I do previews, reviews. I do all kinds of different other videos. I'm linking up as well with Ellie and Kate to bring you some ladies
that you
talk. So it's really good, all us ladies linking up. So yeah, We're going to do match reactions together now as well. So whoever's about, either the 3 of us, 2 of us, or 1 of us will do a match reaction too. So we're going to start doing that. But the Aston Villa game, I'm actually going to, so it won't be me on the match reaction for that one, because I will be there live in the flesh. I might put a few videos up
from the Antwerp.
Oh God, with you all the nutcases down
Mia,
there.
Make sure you get us a few pictures and make sure they're football ones, and I will be over the moon. So Ben,
non-football ones.
So Ben, know you're here, there, everywhere, mate, and you do a brilliant job of it as well. Anything else?
Yeah, you can find us over on the Coffee Company. We are live within the hour with Robbie, and I might have a few more guests. I might ping the link out to a few people. Let's have a laugh. Mental health streams.
Yeah, feel free to put it on here.
Yeah. Look, let's do it. I need to find it. But everyone knows me. I'm the host of Tottenham on Tour, the world famous home of Levy Out. And we do a show Monday and Friday, cockle doodle do. And we get guests to talk about the weekend. And we just have a nice chat in the morning. We have Mia on with the 2 Ians, or the 2 Mias, as I'm calling them now. And it's just a nice place to be. It's just a nice place to be on Tottenham on Tour with Mr. Daigle, Mr. Ireland, Mr. Isaacs. The few people we've got over there. But yeah, just keep subscribing to everyone. Support everyone in the community. And let's just be good people. Let's just be good people.
Okay. So there you go, everybody.
Don't be
There's 2 places you can definitely like and subscribe to.
We don't allow the wrong in the game.
Don't be a wrong'un like you, Minerals FC.
I'm not a wrong'un. I'm a
You're in the woods.
In the woods.
I'm never in the woods, Mia. I'll send you there, and you'll be there forever. Because it's only.
Listen, I've got the woods near me, mate. I'm nowhere near. I'm not in them now. It's you that's in the woods. Don't worry.
Well, no. If I'm going to tell the truth, I think it's all of us in the woods at the moment.
I'm never in the woods.
So what I'm going to do with
I
this
send
quickly,
everyone in the woods. Never.
I'm going to have to
Minerals General, bruv. Let's have it.
I'm going to have to cut this a bit
Slim
short in a
Shady.
couple of minutes because my window cleaners have turned up. So what I'm gonna, and that is going to sound terrible on the bloody windows with a jet wash on there and that. I wasn't expecting them today. So Rob, come on, tell us about yourself quick and where we can find you. I wanted to do this another half hour, but like I say, the window cleaners have turned up and it's going to sound bloody awful because here they go. Come on, quick, get your bit in.
Always got to get those windows clean. Look, if you want to see more of me, Lily White Lane on YouTube, all types of Tottenham content, we hugely appreciate a subscribe, as I say, to support these guys. Ben at the Coffee Company, Tottenham on Tour, Mia Spurs Between the Lines, Dan obviously here, Hotspur Hood. You know, pleasure to be on the stream. And yeah, if you want to check me out.
If you ever want to come on, mate, give me or Tom a link. We're more than happy to have anybody on here. All right, Minerals, come on then. Have your last dirty bit of word on here then.
Yeah, man. Big up, lads, man. Big up, man. Follow me on the socials and up the Minerals FC. We mud all the wrong-uns, we say the truth, and people get offended. You know what I'm saying? And
so what?
Come on,
some
you
people
gunners,
just can't handle it. Is what it is. Don't say that. I'm muting
you better
him now.
the
There you go. Don't worry. I just muted him. He can't say nothing more. I ain't having that shit on here. No chance. Right, everybody. Go on, Minerals. Say your last bit.
Minerals landed, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Didn't it just?
Up the Minerals.
Right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Sorry I have to cut this short. As you can see, this jet wash is going crazy out here now. So I will be doing another one soon. Tom will also be doing his other one on the Hotspur Hood, and me and Tom on Tuesday will be stuff together and make sure we get people in. People, like and subscribe. If you do it, it'd be appreciated. If you don't, I suppose you can get on with your life. Either way. People, Spurs fans, come on, you Spurs, Levy out, everything else. Have a good day.
And as always, Levy out.
Quite Christmas.